Hello, fellow model railroadees. The delivery elves just dropped off another package from my friends over at Train World. So let's open it up and see what's inside. It's the new Princess Cruises Denali Express by Bachmann starter set, item number 765. This is the second set they came out with, as the original was 715, which included 3 Colorado rail cars, the Susitna, the Iliamna, and the Pioneer. Now both sets were DC, and this current set comes with the Sanford and the Hunter, which I've already purchased separately over the last year or so, along with the Blackburn. I did pick up the Susitna from the original set off eBay, but it's missing the lighting package, and that'll be something I'll have to work on later. Now, the one good thing Bachmann has done is to consolidate the box. It is much more compact, making it a bit easier to store. As we can see with the typical starter set of oval track, but these are steel track on a black road base. I don't use this, so this may be up for grabs at some point. It also comes with a basic DC controller, as well as the Bachmann Easy Mate Mark II couplers, which will also be slowly replaced. The artwork is similar to the original box when I'm looking at it online, and the back has a little bit of history and some of the local photos. Now, as I open this box, we can see that the cars are well sealed in a vacuum formed package inside of a layer of plastic, which helps protect it a lot. The GP40 looks good even before I pull it out of the packing. Now, all of the steel track is tied well into the cardboard box. There is also the DC power pack and the DC controller here, and information packet which has warranty and some instructions. Now, through the plastic, this engine looks really good, but I can't wait to get a close-up view of it as I rip the plastic off here. They did a really good job packing this and protecting it for shipping. Now, this loco struggled it a little bit coming out of the vacuum form packing, but now that I got it out, we can see it much more clearly. Now, it looks really good. It doesn't weigh very much, and we'll look at that in a few clips ahead, but for a starter set loco, this isn't that bad. I am noticing a few paint imperfections, which I'll zoom in here on just a second. But the number boards look good and everything else. So some of the paint lines, as you can see here, are quite a bit fuzzy or not very crisp, especially on the nose on both sides. And there's also a paint scuff on the back of this corner here. But the AR logo looks really good, except for the fuzziness around both of them. But it's a starter set. I'm okay with that. Now, as I work on pulling out the 89-foot Colorado rail cars, these are really crisp. They look just as good as the ones that came individually packaged. More than likely they are from the same production line around the same time. You can just barely see the seats and tables inside, and the end door painted on looks typical for what these were. Even the lettering is crisp and clear. And as we look at Sanford here, the printing on the side is really good, as well as the stairs being picked out as a different color for safety, I guess. So talking about the weight, I decided to get out my scale, and the GP40 weighs about 13.3 ounces here at the zoomed in picture. Doesn't feel heavy, but it is DC only. There's no sound. I may add weight and a DC decoder into it. And I got my NMRA weight scale out here to find out exactly how long this 89-foot should weigh, which is around 7.1 ounces, give or take. And even then, once I put it on the scale, it's a little over at 8.5 ounces, 8.6 ounces. And that's okay, because those really won't be pulled with anything else. And the last thing to remember is that on these there is a coupler lock that protects the coupler during shipping. You got to remember to pop that off. It simply just pulls right out of the coupler box and allows the coupler to move back and forth its full motion. Now after I did this, I looked at the bottom and I'm surprised at how much detail is there for being never visible. And you can also see that the trucks are split trucks, giving power from both sides of the rails up into the lighting package, which we will take a look at in just a second. So here I've just set up a loop of the nickel silver easy track on my floor. I lost all the audio to my video that I had recorded, so we're just going to do this as a voiceover. So I have the GP40 number 3004, as well as 5 of my Colorado rail cars set up. And it's 2 Sanfords, 2 Hunters, a Blackburn, and I was going to put the Susitna one on, but I was having coupler issues, which I've hence fixed, but for some other reason it still keeps uncoupling from the rest of the trains. And I was surprised for not having audio. I wish I could have shared this, but the GP40 had no issue pulling these 5, and it was very quiet. But here we go with some close-ups of the interior lighting. You can see all of the tables, all of the chairs. There's only a single LCD PCB board that's between the floors. So the lower section's lit up really well. The upper section, it looks like it would be lighting for the center aisle for people to walk up and down. So I don't know how well that would show up if I put more people inside. But I will definitely be adding passengers and crew members walking back and forth, and definitely have to have food on some of these tables. So I decided to set this up on the rolling road so you can actually hear how quiet the loco is. So I'm just going to turn up speed here. And that's full power. It's not very loud at all. So for being DC only, it's pretty quiet. But I thank you for joining me, and here's the last overlook of the GP40 and the 6 Colorado rail cars that I have for the Princess Denali set. Thanks for joining me, and I hope everyone has a Happy New Year.